Welcome to Astro-Weatherman. Hello, weather watchers, and welcome to Astro-Weatherman, where we study how the planets in our solar system affect weather patterns here on the Earth, an ancient science known as astrometeorology, the astrology of weather. Okay, so today is Thursday, December the 29th, and it is the first quarter moon of December. All right, and actually, this lunation period is going to be the New Year moon because this lunation period is going to cross through the new year. All right, so this lunation period, the first quarter moon, is going to last from Thursday, December the 29th, and will go until January the 5th of 2023. And we're going to be looking at how the planets are affecting weather patterns here in North America, specifically Canada, the United States, and Mexico. Now, if you don't want to watch the entire video and you just want to go to your respective country, go to the description box below, click on the time frame of where your country is, and it'll take you to that portion of the video. All right, without further ado, let's see what those planets are doing to the weather in North America. Hopefully, it's going to be a much better week because the new moon period in December was a brutal weather period for most parts of, or a good majority of North America, bringing bitterly cold weather and a terrible winter mess. All right. So it wasn't a great Christmas weather-wise for many people in North America anyways. All right, so let's see what those weather planets are doing and hopefully bringing better weather for North America for this first quarter moon period. Okay, let's begin with Canada, Western Canada to be more specific, and start off with BC. All right. So what planets are affecting BC during this lunation period? Not great planets, unfortunately, BC. You've got negative Neptune up here, and you've got negative Pluto down here. These are going to be the major players for you guys. And unfortunately, that means that most of BC is going to be under a negative weather zone. All right, because Neptune is negative, Pluto is negative. So unfortunately, some challenging weather awaits this week, BC. All right, so what do we mean? Neptune, both Neptune and Pluto bring heavy moisture. So expect lots of moisture. Now, in the lower mainland regions, western coast regions, Neptune will bring heavy rain, lots of rain. Neptune likes to bring lots of mists, fog, drizzle, but typically lots of rain, moisture. At the very least, you're going to get showers and plenty of cloudy days. So expect that kind of weather for most of the week. Now, the good news is with Neptune, it's not that cold, so it's not going to come in the form of snow, but it's cool enough that it will, I should say, sorry, warm enough that it should, any moisture that comes down should come in the form of rain and not snow. Otherwise, expect some heavy rain throughout most of the week, actually. Now, the further east that you go, you're going to see Pluto. Now, that brings colder temperatures, plenty of snow, especially the mountain areas. Mercury down here can bring wind. So at the end of the day, there could be some blowing snow through the mountain passes. So just watch for that. So it's going to be a pretty challenging week of weather, especially in the upper elevations. All right. So there you go. That's BC. So cooler, cloudy, rainy. That's the weather. All right. Alberta. Okay, so who are the players? What's the major planetary player here in Alberta? And it's this guy right here, and that is Jupiter. Now, Jupiter Uh, Lucky for Alberta, is a very positive weather planet. This Jupiter typically brings a lot more warmth, more sunshine, and generally pleasant weather overall. So it can bring Chinooks in this type of scenario because Jupiter does tend to bring some windy conditions, but it's warmer winds, okay, in this case, especially in this season. So I think Alberta, you're going to have mostly a warmer week of weather. Now there is a little bit of something here towards the end of the week, and that's the moon. Now that could maybe bring some cooler temperatures, some clouds, and maybe some passing flurries, or passing, scattered moisture from maybe about Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but it's not going to be that bad overall, I don't think. But overall, I think it's going to be a really pleasant week of weather for Alberta. All right, so you guys are good. Next is Saskatchewan. Now, the major planetary player here is actually a planet that's way out in the eastern region, and that's Saturn. So Saturn is going to be sending its energy to both actually Saskatchewan and Manitoba. All right, so just be aware that this energy is going to be affecting both of these provinces. Um, and um, Saturn is very well known for being cold, temperature-wise, very, very bitterly cold. Now, Saturn typically is a planet of storms, and so you can bring moisture, storm systems, low pressure, um, and definitely snow into the regions. Um, so I would suspect that the colder and possibly snowier conditions could come more towards the end of the lunar week, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So watch for storms coming in at those periods of time. The first part of the week, I think the temperatures are still going to be bitterly cold, but maybe not as bad temperature wise. And that's because even though we have this negative weather planet, oops, sorry. This negative weather planet here is Moon, but that one is because the Moon is traveling through the sign of Aries right now. The Moon is a reflector in terms of energy. So whatever astrological sign that it crosses through, it mimics its energy. And Aries is a warmer, drier sign. So it means that the Moon is not going to be as wet. It's not going to be as cold. Um, so I think through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you're going to have colder temperatures, but maybe not as much moisture. I'm concerned more about Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday when Saturn rolls in. And that's where we could have maybe some severe winter weather that could come through these two provinces. Okay. All right. So let's move on to Ontario. Now, Ontario, you're interesting. You've got two planets affecting you, and one of them is not good. That's Saturn. And you've got another. Now, this one is Uranus. This is the mixed bag planet. It has negative weather because it can bring a whole bunch of storm systems, but beautiful, clear, sunny days. One of those planets that can bring, a clear, sunny day, a clear, sunny morning, and then all of a sudden in the afternoon you get a snow squall in the winter, and then it clears up and it's perfectly clear again. That's Uranus. So mixed weather planet. All right. So overall, the ruling planet in this entire region is going to be Uranus. And let me just redo that here. Is going to be Uranus. And Uranus is overall, because it's so unstable, we're going to give it a red mark. Um, so I think you guys overall are going to have, an interesting blend of weather. And I'll tell you why. In one sense, Uranus can bring a mix of sun and clouds, cooler temperatures, and sudden storm systems. But because Uranus is retrograde right now, and that's a fancy word meaning that it looks like it's kind of going in reverse um, from the perspective of the Earth, where if you're standing on the Earth, it kind of looks like it's going backwards. So basically, what this means is its energy is reversed a little bit. So it's not as cold. So normally, if it's very cold, it's not as cold. And so if Uranus typically is a drier planet, it's not as dry. So what we're going to say is for Ontario overall, I think you're going to have a many days where it's going to be a mix of sun and clouds. You're going to have a couple of days where there's going to be some scattered flurries, maybe in the southern region, some scattered showers, because it could actually, Uranus being retrograde could warm up the temperatures. So it's going to be, I think, warmer than it was last lunation period, the last week. So you'll definitely notice the difference, I think. So I think it'll be you're going to have some very positive weather involved in that. But I think towards the end of the week is where you're going to have to watch for, and that's where this guy here, negative planet Saturn, really kind of moves in, and that's where um, cold, low pressure storm systems, and I think snow or heavier snow can come. We'll have to watch for that. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Um, all right. So we'll see how that pans out. But typically, that's the pattern for um, Saturn. Okay, so that's Ontario. Next, let's go to Quebec. And in fact, Quebec and the Maritimes are going to be covered by two planets. So we're going to cover these two regions at the same time. All right. So first of all, we're going to look at mixed weather planet Uranus right up here, which is generally, again, we give it negative just because it is so unstable and highly variable, with some good weather, but with the instability, it doesn't make it that phenomenal. So I think overall, we're going to, oops, wrong one. We're going to do like this. We're going to give this entire region through both Quebec and the Maritimes um, sort of a negative weather rating with some positive in it as well. So we got a little bit of positive in here as well. Okay. So I think you guys are going to have, because Uranus is retrograde, it's going to be not as cold. So I think you guys are going to be generally seasonable in terms of temperature. Like Ontario, I think it'll be seasonable. Yeah, a lot warmer than the previous lunation period. And you're going to have a mix of sun and clouds. You're going to have scattered showers or scattered flurries. And I think what's going to happen uh, is you're also going to have um, sort of a roller coaster of weather systems coming in. You're going to have some nice, clear, sunny breaks, and then some flurries or rain will come, especially if you're more in the coastal regions. So it's going to be a bit of a wacky week of weather, I think, for you guys. So just prepare for that. Although I don't think it's going to be anything too severe. Um, Now we have this other planet to the Atlantic, in the Atlantic area, and that is Mars. It's more of a minor planet. Um, in this case, so there will be again warmth. But there will be scattered moisture and a mixture of sun and clouds with a roller coaster. Let's put it that way. Okay, that's it, Canada. Let's see what's going down in the United States for planetary weather, shall we? Okay, USA. Let's start off with the West Coast and see what the planets are bringing in terms of your weather. All right, so unfortunately, I have some not great news. It doesn't look too good. We've got negative weather planets up here. Now, the blue one is the one specifically that we're looking at, and that is um, Neptune, and that's not great. The other major player here is going to be Pluto, right down here, okay? Those are the big ones that are bringing the majority of the weather, and both of them are very wet planets. They're going to bring a lot of moisture, a lot of rain, and snow in the higher elevations. So we have to watch for that. So there's going to be a significant amount of moisture. Neptune, um, all right, Neptune, this guy up here, he loves to bring significant moisture, fog, mists, drizzle, clouds. He's cooler, but not severely cold. That's why it typically would come in terms in the form of rain and not snow, especially towards these regions. So Neptune can bring also unusual weather patterns or systems that we don't usually see very often. So be prepared for something unusual. So maybe very much above average moisture could fall in the western part of the US. And throughout these regions here as well, um, we have Pluto that's going to bring significant moisture, colder weather. So I think snow is going to fall in heavy amounts in those areas. Pluto typically can bring some severe weather, so please be on guard for that. We have Pluto mixing with a couple of other planets that bring moisture, which is the moon, Mercury, this more silver or sorry, gold line can bring wind. So there can be blowing wind with the snow, blowing snow, in other words. Venus brings more moisture. So we got a lot of planets with moisture. So we're gonna have to watch out for, oh, good Lord, I think we're gonna have to give this entire region uh pretty much spanning, especially from about here, roughly, some significant cautions because this is just going to be some very unusual weather systems that are going to hit. All right. So I don't think it's going to be too bad the further south you go. I think the further south you go, maybe into Arizona, you're going to have maybe a little bit more drier weather, some scattered showers or rain. But it's the West Coast and the inland areas, especially in the mountains, that we're going to have to watch for because it could be a severe moisture week coming up. Strong rain in warmer areas and heavier snow in higher elevation areas. Okay, prep for that. Now we have this gigantic gap through most of the US, and there's going to be two major players that are going to be moving the weather. One of the biggies is down here, and that's Pluto. You've got Uranus, not so much. That's going to be more the northeast. So we're going to talk about Uranus a bit later down the road. But Pluto is actually going to be giving the weather for most of the continent. My goodness, right from the Midwest all the way almost to the east. Here's the thing with Pluto in this circumstance. Pluto will warm up the weather significantly, especially around these areas. Because Pluto is coming from the south, and you can see right down here, Pluto is just occupying this southern portion before it actually crosses the moon here. So that tells me that the weather in terms of temperatures are going to be warmer. So we're going to have a lot warmer air moving in with Pluto. All right, so Pluto is going to bring warmer air um, this way. Um, Problem is, we also have some colder air from the moon. Oops, let me just change the color on that one. We're going to have some colder air from the moon coming in this way. We've got some colder air from Saturn. There's a clash happening here, and it doesn't look too promising. The way, so let's look at how this is going to work. Okay, so we have Pluto bringing some warmer, more humid air. Uh, and let me just do this actually, just to make it a little bit more clear. Bear with me here, folks. We've got to get the right colors here. So we've got Pluto bringing some warmer air here, and we've got colder air from Saturn. That's kind of clashing. I'm kind of concerned about this zone here. All right, roughly. There's going to be some kind of a clash between, let me redraw that here. Some kind of a clash between warmer and colder air, and that could bring severe weather towards especially towards I would say later in the week. It could be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Could be as early as Monday, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have to be very careful here because the other danger planet is Uranus, and that can bring unstable weather here as well. So we could see, I hate to say it, but there could be even tornadoes in the southern portions of the US. And severe storms could happen maybe early as Monday, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this week. So we have to watch out for that section. Otherwise, I think generally speaking, this entire region is going to be, this entire region is going to be under this red zone where I think there's going to be um, an interesting blend of weather. We're going to have warmer weather coming in, warming things up, but still bringing moisture. So mix of sun and clouds, mix of sun and clouds, some scattered showers in the south, scattered flurries in the north. Um, but in these zones up here, I think you're going to have more in the way with Saturn being involved. There could be, especially towards, again, Monday, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, more so. Um, Stormy weather, cold weather, maybe winter can come again. So we'll have to watch for this. We have a warm up Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and maybe a giant cool down Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, which can bring a lot of unstable weather to a great deal of the country. So we just have to watch for that. All right. Let's we'll see what happens. Hopefully not much, but we have to call it like we see it, right? Okay. The major player here in the northeast sections, okay, we've got Uranus, and that's the mixed bag planet, bringing a mix of sun and clouds, scattered showers. But because Uranus is retrograde right now, it's warmer temperatures. So I think this region here is going to be a mixed bag kind of a scenario. I think, we're going to have scattered showers, maybe scattered flurries, but the temperature is going to be warm enough. I think it's going to be showers, mix of sun and clouds. So some nice weather in between. So not bad in the upper northeast regions. All right. For most of the week. There we go. All right. That's it for USA. Let's go to Mexico. Okay, Mexico. What is happening with your guys' weather? Okay, Mexico, we're going to begin on the western side of things, and we see a good weather planet that is affecting western Mexico, and that is Jupiter right there. So that is really, really good. Now Pluto, this one down here, normally the northern hemispheres and in winter it is a negative weather planet, but the further south you go, towards the equator, um, it becomes a lot more positive. It brings much more warmer temperatures, drier weather. So generally good weather planet. So, man, a good portion of Mexico is going to be under some very positive weather influences. So basically, I think from all the way here, okay, so from this point to that point, you're going to see some very positive weather overall Mexico. So very good. So let's talk about this a little bit. So Jupiter brings hot, dry, sunny weather with wind. So I think there's going to be some wind associated, but it's going to be warm wind. Otherwise, there's not much to talk about for west, upper northwest Mexico. I think it's going to be beautiful. Jupiter's going to dominate. Pluto is going to dominate through most of the rest of Mexico, and it's going to, again, towards the southern hemispheres. Pluto brings very warm to hot temperatures and sometimes severely dry weather. So if you're looking for moisture, you're not going to find it. So it's if there's going to be any showers, it'll be very scattered and very few. So I don't think it's going to be such a big problem for showers anyways. There's not much to talk about here. It's going to be a beautiful weather period for most of Mexico. This entire region here is going to experience above average temperatures, hot, dry, sunny weather. Not much else to talk about, so I think that's good. Maybe through this corridor here, where Mercury is going through, there could be windier days occasionally towards maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But really, there's not much else to talk about. Maybe the moon here in this region can bring some more clouds and maybe a few scattered showers, maybe, but towards Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But that's about it. All right. Easy peasy. That's Mexico. So let's go to this portion right here. And um again, we've got dominant Pluto. So all in all, again, pretty much from the Yucatan Peninsula all the way here, I think you guys are gonna have a very positive week of weather again. Hot, dry, plenty of sunshine. Not much happening in that respect. You might have some, uh, I guess you could say scattered showers or thunderstorms that could come in. Maybe, well, let me use another color. Yeah, let's use this guy. You might have some more scattered showers or thunder showers, maybe through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but it's not going to amount to too much, I don't think. Um, all in all, I think the Yucatan Peninsula is going to be uh same as the rest of Mexico. Maybe a little bit more in terms of scattered showers or thunderstorms. And that's about it. All right. That's all from Mexico. There you have it, the astro-meteorology weather forecast for the first quarter moon period of December 2022, which is the first quarter moon period, the lunation period for the new year. That'll go into January and ends again January 5th, 2023. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the upcoming videos for the next lunation, which will be the full moon, the first full moon of the new year for 2023. And we'll see what that weather week brings. Again, please stay tuned for the upcoming winter 2023 forecast that should be up in the coming days. So stay tuned for that. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you would like to be a part of this channel, and hit the bell icon if you would like notifications as to when we come out with new videos. All right, and new forecasts. All right, thank you again for watching.